Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to use yarn in size 4 medium, but I'm going to double it. So I'm going to use one strand from the center and one strand from the top. And that way I can just join two sides together. And circular knitting needles in size 10 millimeters. So as I said, I'll use two strands together and leave a long tail. It's better to leave a long tail than a short tail because, you know, if it's long you can always cut the excess yarn, but if it's too short you have to start all over again or add additional yarn. So make sure to have a long tail. It's always better, unless you don't have enough yarn. So then we'll start by making a slip knot here. And now that I think about it, I haven't made a knitting video in a long time. So let's see. So this stitch will count as one, even though we have two strands on it. It will still count as one, so don't confuse that. So now I will, let's see, I will chain. Let's try 48. Maybe, nah, it's 46. I would chain 46 and hopefully that will be enough. You can cast on any way you want. Generally for knitting hats I cast on in a different way. This one is my mother's method, and well, I'm sure she's not the only one who uses it, but she's the one who uses it all the time, no matter what stitch she's making. And I feel that this particular cast on works well for this pattern. Now you can still cast on any way you know how, you know, but sometimes, you know, people from different countries, they have different methods. For example, even when it comes to knitting and purling, for example, in America, my way of knitting and crocheting, well, let's just stick to knitting. My way of knitting will be considered backwards. But for me, it's the right way because that's how I was taught. It just shows a different background. But still, the way I knit my stitches and purl, and the way somebody else from a different place might knit and purl stitches will still have the same effect. It's just that it's just use a different method of making them, how we are taught at first. That usually turns out into a habit. Alright, so let's see how many we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So we need more. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Wow, I just realized something. I never made this stitch in circular, only on a straight version, so it will be very interesting to see how how this will turn out. So, oh my gosh. So, when you knit in circle on needles, you have to join them this way. So see, this tail will be on the right side. I know it's probably, it sounds too simple, but even I have made mistake quite often. And you know what other mistakes I made? Like for this, we see now, this tail is long, so sometimes I make a mistake. And then instead of using a normal tail, we're using this one to use the cast on, and then that gets very annoying because you kind of have to go backwards, because otherwise you're just gonna mess up all your cast on stitches. So let me just make sure that doesn't happen. Let's mark this one. Alright, so for row 1, I'm just going to knit all the stitches. Don't get confused here in case you're using yarn in 2 strands just like I am. So don't get confused about that, because it's not 2 stitches, it's just 1, it's just that we're using 2 strands. So we cast down 46 stitches, and by the end of row 1 we should still have 46 stitches. We just continue knitting every stitch throughout row 1. I really love this pattern, at least when I make different things like scarves and stuff. But for hat, I don't know, I have to see. I think I might have to change it around a little bit to give it the same appearance, but we won't know that until we start the actual pattern. But this is a version of a fisherman stitch. So I know there are many different ways of using this stitch, but this is only one of them. So, and another thing is that when I use this pattern, I like the chunky effect that it gives it, that where the knit kind of like, it looks like knit 1 purl 1, and but the knitted stitch looks like much wider. And I saw this when I was little, this stitch. My grandma had a pink sweater which was beautiful and so warm, and I always thought it was a knit 1 and purl 1 because that's how it appeared. I thought maybe because she used thick yarn. So it took me years to actually figure it out. I think it was my mom who told me, but way later, because I didn't ask. Ask. Always ask. So yeah, guys, I'm just going to continue knitting. You should just continue knitting. Oh yeah. So when I make this pattern using just 1 strand of yarn, I don't like its effect. It's not as chunky. But with 2 strands of yarn, or even if you have like a thicker yarn, like for example, it doesn't have to be 2 strands. You can use a thick yarn. I think it's, I don't know, it's called Hometown USA or something like that. It's been years since I used that yarn, but you can use that one too. But it's also much more expensive as well. So, but that's up to you. At least you have options. Alright, we're almost at the end of row 1, guys. Yeah, we are at the end of row 1. Alright, so now for row 2, we'll knit 1 stitch below. See, normally we'll knit right here through this first stitch, but for this pattern we need this knit 1 stitch below. So knit 1 stitch below, then purl 1, knit 1 stitch below, purl 1. I hope this is clear. I used beige yarn just for this purpose, so it's more clear to you guys, but we'll see. Again, knit 1 stitch below, then purl 1, knit 1 stitch below, then purl 1, knit 1 stitch below, then purl 1. So we repeat this throughout row 1. Just knit 1 stitch below and purl 1. It's going to take a few rows for you guys to see the real results, because I don't know how this pattern works together. I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's definitely one of my favorite stitches, if not the favorite, and even though it looks so simple, I just love it. So I'm gonna stay on the camera till I finish this row. I'm not gonna cut it off. I know it's probably gonna annoy you, a repetition, but you know, maybe someone will find it helpful. Just remember that if you use the stitch with thin yarn and smaller knitting needles, you have a bit different effect. Oh, but imagine how warm the sweater will be if you make it with a stitch. And heavy as well. One of the cool things about working on circular needles, for example making a hat, is that you don't have to join in the rows. They're already joined as you work along. Almost by the end of row 2. Yes. Alright. And now it's a tricky part, because when you work with straight needles it's totally different. So let's see. Alright, so we finished row 2, now for row 3. Now for row 3 we repeat row 1. So we'll knit 1 and purl 1. Knit 1 and purl 1. Knit 1 and purl 1. So we continue knitting 1 and purling 1 throughout row 3. See, I just figured that out now, because I'm making something right now for someone, and I'm making it in a straight line, and it's just one row repeat. So basically I just repeated row 2 But now since we work in a circle, we have to have 2 rows for to make the same pattern. This is pretty cool. I just realized that now. I wonder if it will look the same as what it does when you work on a straight line. So for row 3, just knit 1 and purl 1. I love using circle needles for hands. It's just so cool. So we have reached the end of row 3. So now for row 4 we repeat row 2. So we'll knit 1 below, then purl 1, knit 1 below, purl 1, knit 1 below, purl 1. No, it is not exactly the same as the other one, but it's still actually pretty neat. I still like it. It's a bit different. I don't know if I should go in another room and bring it so you can see it, but no, I'll just wait for you guys to make another video for it. But yeah, this is really cool. And now this will really make a nice sweater. I just can never gather enough courage to make a sweater, to knit it or crochet it. I'm talking about a real sweater, like a sweater, like an old-fashioned sweater, because it's kind of scary because they have so many details, especially the sleeves. I think the sleeves would be the trickiest for me. So yeah, for row 4 we will just repeat row 2, like knit 1 below and purl 1, knit 1 below, then purl 1. Yay, we've reached the end of row 4. This is so cool, guys. I know it looks just like knit one for one, but it's just so thick and soft, and I don't know, I just love it. And imagine if you didn't use two strands of yarn, if you actually just use one thick yarn, it will probably look even better because you want to see all these strands here, but I don't know, it looks good either way. So for the pattern, guys, we repeat rows 3 and 4. Remember, rows 3 and 4 is same as row 1 and 2, but you know, it was still made on the foundation row, so maybe it's easier for you to remember. It's just a 2-row repeat. So repeat rows 3 and 4 for the pattern, or rows 1 and 2, since they are the same. And we repeat that until our work reaches our desired length, and I really hope this is going to be long enough, I mean wide enough, and I think it is actually. I think it has quite a lot of stretch, plus I use double yarn. So yeah, I'll see you guys maybe when I reach 6 or 7 inches of this pattern. Look how nice it looks, guys. I hope it's visible because I'm recording at night. So we repeat rows 3 and 4 until our work reaches 8 inches. I know I said 6 inches earlier, but then I realized that I have to decrease in every row, so that is why I needed extra 2 inches. So now I will switch to double pointed needles while I'm decreasing. Hopefully we won't wander off the pattern too far. So I'll knit these next 2 stitches together. Then I'll knit the next 2 stitches together. Knit the next 2 stitches together. Knit the next 2 stitches together. Again, we just continue knitting 2 stitches together throughout this row. The pattern just feels so soft and chunky. So we just finished decreasing this first row. Now I only have 3 of these needles, so I'm going to try use this one too, but don't get it confused. If you have 4 double pointed needles in the same size, will be great. So now for a second row of decrease, again I'll knit 2 stitches together. Again, knit the next 2 stitches together. Knit the next 2 stitches together. So we repeat this throughout this row. Just knit 2 stitches together. But yeah, we just continue knitting 2 stitches together until we have, well, should be maybe around 6 stitches left. But we'll see. So we have 6 stitches left. Now I'll leave a medium sized tail, then I'll cut this yarn. Then with the yarn needle we'll close that loop. So we just insert this needle through these stitches. Two more left. So now, you see here where we started, we're going to join these 2 sides together. Usually when you work on a round, that first row tends to look like that, the only for the first row. But there's a trick you can do. I actually spoke with it and show it to you guys in most of my hat videos when it comes to knitting, but I didn't do it this time. Just joining it together. Weave the ends in. And this hat will definitely keep you warm in this, what is it, May? I mean in winter. Of course you're not going to wear it in May. Unless you go to some cold place. Like Russia, I think it's called at this time. Alright, so let's see, let's measure this now. Okay, so it's 9 inches long and it's 8 inches wide, but keep in mind that this pattern actually has a lot of stretch. I like how it turned out. So this is all for today, guys. I'll see you next time with another video.